Hello everyone, this is P.Radford with 50 Years of Chess. I hope you're all well and having a good weekend. My opponent today was a young man named Stephen Bonutto from Wales. This was in the Bristol Major tournament and it was round 1. And it's played on the 25th of February 2017. So it's always important, the first one, because you want to try and get a result of some kind. So anyway, let's have a look. Stephen was white and he played e4. I played c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, cd, knight takes d, e5. This opening is known as the Bonutto defense. He played knight b5. It's a very old opening by the great master Bonutto. This is well thought out. I've played this before, so you may recognize it. Knight b5, a6, knight d6 check, bishop takes knight, queen takes d6, queen f6, offering the queen swap. He played back to d1, which is the correct move. Queen g6. This is to annoy white and slow up his development because I'm attacking the e-pawn, which has to be defended. But he can't do it with the bishop because if you move the bishop out to d3, for instance, he would drop the g-pawn on g2. So he played knight to c3. And I brought my other knight out to e7. Bishop e3. d5. This is where the Bonutto comes into his own as an opening. It was a well thought out, planned opening by the master Bonutto. He knew exactly what he was doing here. You watch how this goes. So he played e takes d, and then knight b4. So this is attacking now the c pawn on c2 with a check and winning the rook in the corner. So he played rook to c1. I played bishop to f5. That puts even more pressure on to the c pawn. He played d6. Now I could have played knight to c6, and I probably should have done, but I played the rook across, pinning the queen. And he played pawn takes knight, so he's willing to give up his queen for a rook and a knight. So rook takes queen, knight takes pawn on c2, and Stephen moved his king up to e2. So it's looking good here now for black at the moment. I've got if you look on the bar on the right, is way down into the white level. So it's something like 4.5 advantage to black in this game. Because it's such an old opening, it catches so many people out. Most players, when they study books and so on, they're checking openings, how to play openings and everything. And they look at the more modern stuff and they don't really take a lot of notice of the old, really old ones like this. And it can be so good if they don't know it. It's like playing a whole new opening. So I went back to d4 with a check. He played bishop takes knight. E takes d4. Rook takes d4. Queen e6 check. I could have gone king takes, but then he's got knight d4, 5 check. And I don't like the look of that. So queen check, king back to d1, and now queen takes pawn. Bishop d3. So no, I did the right thing. Bishop e6, rook e1, and then I castled, so I wouldn't have my queen pinned to my king at any time. So it came in with bishop to c4, queen c5. He's protecting that rook with his other rook. So I took the bishop, he took, and I picked up the pawn on f2. Rook back to e2, rook d8 check, king c2, queen to f5 check. And at this point my opponent resigned because it's getting tough for him. His king's quite open, and I've got a good play here with my rook and queen. Stockfish, the one that decides on Lichess what the results are, gives a 3.7 advantage for black. So it is a winning position with black. Obviously the right move here now is to play h6, so there's no back rank mate if I move my rook off the bat. That's all I gotta do really, and then probably swap a rook off, a pair of rooks, and then pick up some pawns, and it should be enough to win. The queen is so strong against just a rook and a knight, unless they're properly coordinated and kept close together. At all times it can be picked off, and so it's hard for white, and he didn't feel confident enough to take it on. If he'd gone maybe rook on c4 to d4, doubling his rooks, like I said, I played it, I can play h6 and rook check, rook off, rook down, check again, king h, and then, well, it's just, he's got to do something about these 2 pawns on h2 and g2. They're going to fall if he hasn't got that rook back on e2. So yeah, it's a win, comfortable win. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the game, and I'll see you again later. And thanks to everyone who subscribed, and hello to all the new subscribers that have joined just recently. Suddenly there was a bit of a went up like that, about 12 people all in a couple of days. So thanks for that, and I hope to get the games to you as quick as I can. Thank you.